Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for High Velocity Radio.
Lee Cantor here, another episode of High Velocity Radio, and this is going to be a good one. Today we have with us Aaron Anderson, and he is with Axxeum Partners. Welcome, Aaron.
How you doing?
I am doing well. I'm excited to learn what you're up to. Tell us a little bit about Axxeum Partners, who you serve it, and how do you do it?
Sure. So Axxeum Partners is the parent company for a few other entities that I have. I have about 7 restaurants total. I own three Ritas, Italian Ice out of Philadelphia. I owned, I think it's 4 Original Hot Dog Factory franchises in Philadelphia. And then also I started my own franchise called Chef Reuben's Kitchen.
So how'd you get involved in the restaurant business?
I was, part of being an entrepreneur, you try to invest in things that's going to be around. And I figure food is an essential, it's just something essential. You need it to survive. So that was just like one of the deciding factors in saying, I want to invest in food. So restaurants it was.
Now, were you in the food industry, or you just felt that those were good investments?
I felt that those were good investments.
And then how'd you choose the franchises that you started with?
So prior to being in the restaurant industry, I had my own screen printing company that I've started from literally ground up. And one of the things that I realized was just that, building the business, the most important thing is your structure, your branding, your system. So it was just so many different compartments that it took me a long time to build. So I felt when I go into the restaurant industry, I would buy into a franchise because everything is just already there. So it would just make my job a lot easier from that aspect, and it would enable me to be able to grow at a rapid pace.
Now, when you were picking franchise, especially in the food industry, there's lots and lots to choose from. How'd you land on the ones you landed on?
Sure. So with the Original Hot Dog Factory, I looked at other hot dog franchises, and the Original Hot Dog Factory menu is just so unique, and it's a lot. It's unique, and there's the market for it, a very big market. So and then Philadelphia in the Northeast region, we don't really have that type of product here. So when I looked at it, I said, man, this is a great concept, and like how versatile the menu is. So I flew to Atlanta, and then I tried the food, and that's, I said, this is a hit. So I brought it up to Philadelphia, and like I said, I opened up about 4 to 5, and, we just keep on going. And then with Rita's is a water ice business, but that's originally, it started in the outskirts of Philadelphia. So, if you're in the Northeast region, you've probably heard the name Rita's. So that was kind of like a no-brainer.
Now, once you started doing that, and I guess you were starting to get success and you were opening up additional units, what kind of was the reason to say, I think I can do this on my own?
It was, I took a lot of, or a little bit of something from everything. I took a little bit of experience I had from starting my own businesses, and also experiences. Then I started looking at the way that, these other franchises, how they built their system. And I already felt like with all of that information that would help me be able to start my own. And that's exactly what I did.
So now you're playing in the space of ghost kitchens. Can you explain what that concept is, and then how you got involved and where it's taken you?
Sure. So I discovered the ghost kitchen concept, and probably about in 2019, pre-COVID. Now, mind you, I literally flew to other states and seen the operations, and I'm like, this is an awesome idea. And with a ghost kitchen, it's pretty much a big building. They have 28 different kitchens in this one building, but every kitchen is separate. It's like you get your own kitchen that's about two 200 to 300 square feet, has all the cooking equipment in it. The only way that you're able to get the food is through takeout or delivery using a third-party delivery app like Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, like that. So that's pretty much what a ghost kitchen is. Now, when I discovered it pre-COVID, I'm like, this is not a bad thing. This might be the restaurant industry of the future. And then when COVID hit, it was a no-brainer because restaurants weren't able to seat customers and nobody really were coming out. So it just made all the sense in the world. And that's how I started my franchise in the ghost kitchen.
So your franchise, is it an actual ghost kitchen concept, or is it something that lives within a ghost kitchen?
So it's in the ghost kitchen itself, and we actually are planning for brick and mortar in the near future.
Now, so the ghost kitchen's kind of like one of those co-working spaces, but instead of kind of businesses, it's restaurants.
Correct. And then and also a unique thing about the ghost kitchen is that you're in this kitchen, but you're allowed to do as many concepts as you want out of that one kitchen. So it's literally you can have 4 different restaurants out of that one kitchen and be able to service the customers as well. Right.
So then that's where you're seeing a lot of kind of celebrities get into this, where they can put their name on something, come up with a manageable menu, and then be nationwide in the blink of an eye.
Just like that. You're absolutely right.
So you think that this is a trend that's going to be, even post-COVID, it's going to be still pretty popular?
I think post-COVID, and this is actually facts, that it's because it's so great and it's so convenient, it'll always be a market for it. But as things open up and things are going back to the new normal, the sales are declining, but they're not declining drastically, but there is a difference. But I do think it'll be around because it's created its own lane.
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be around as well. And I think that as kind of COVID wanes a little bit and people are just hungry to get out again and to be interacting with other people. So they're going to restaurants. They can't wait to go and have this kind of experience that they haven't had in a while. So I think that's going to take some of that away, but it'll go back to the convenience factor. I mean, that's the bottom line after all this.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I said, it's definitely created its own lane for sure.
So now, how are you going through the whole franchise process as a franchisor right now?
As far as with the other franchises that I'm involved with?
Well, I know like you're doing Arita's and the hot dog one, but this new concept, are you franchising it so you're the actual franchisor?
Absolutely, yes.
So now wearing that hat, it's a little different, right? Now you're the one doing the training and teaching. Has that been difficult for you? Because that's really a whole other business.
Yeah. So again, it's not difficult. It's all a learning curve, which that's the one thing about growth. But I take a lot of experiences that I have, and especially being a part of 2 separate franchises that's totally different. I'm able to take operations from both and kind of combine it with my idea and literally, include it in the franchise that I'm building. So it makes it not as difficult as if I didn't have any experience or anything like that.
Right. But like one thing when you're as a franchisee, your job is just sell more, Ritas around the neighborhood. But as a franchisor, you got to get people up and running and successful so they can sell more in their neighborhood.
Sure. And we did. So it's a franchise where we're going to have different, I guess, different outfits, meaning we'll have a ghost kitchen franchise for this same Chef Reuben's kitchen, and then we'll have the brick and mortar. But what I did with the ghost kitchen is step by step, I recorded everything. So let's just say you wanted to open up a ghost kitchen, Chef Reuben's kitchen franchise in Arizona. Along with signing up, you'll definitely get training, but then you'll get an actual video that you'll always have to literally walk you by a step-by-step process of everything that we did to become successful with it.
So now in your work, you must run across just a million opportunities. How do you decide which are the ones that are worth getting involved with?
Pretty much instinct. That's probably the major part of the decision instinct. But then also, I evaluate everything that it has from does it make sense from, like food is an essential thing. So anything involving food, it automatically catches my eye. But instincts is pretty much that one thing that if it feels right, I'll take a look at it.
Any advice for folks out there that are thinking about being an entrepreneur? Maybe they were laid off, or maybe they just had this idea on the back burner, but they never took action. It sounds like you're a guy that once you kind of see something, you believe in it, you're not shy about taking action.
Yeah, and I think as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of different components that you want to have, but definitely not having fear is something that you want to have. Not giving up, being resilient. That's something else that I feel entrepreneurs should definitely have. And also something that's important, whenever you're involving yourself into any business that it's going to be yours, you want to have verticals from that business, because everything don't always go according to plan. So you just want to make sure that if you have any curves or hurdles, that you're able to pivot and maybe figure something else out that ties into that initial investment. But you definitely want to have verticals.
Now, any advice for the entrepreneur out there on building a team? Because it's hard to do this on your own.
Man, it's hard to do it on your own. And I mean, with the way that the world is now, just finding good help is not even easy. But when you're, for me, building a team, you kind of want to look at these people that you want to build with, like as a marriage. They gotta have those qualities to say, no matter what, I want this person to be a part of my team, the good, the bad, the ugly. We stick through, communicate, and get over things, because that's super important when you're building, is to have the right team around you, for sure.
Now, looking back at your career, is this how you imagined it was going to go?
Not even close. not even close. I honestly, like restaurants wasn't even in my eyesight at all. I thought I was going to be doing something totally different, but I'm glad, and I'm very humbly blessed and thankful for everything that I have going on.
Now, any advice for maybe the more seasoned entrepreneur about how to give back and how to kind of help your community thrive and just, because like once you kind of take care of yourself, I think it's important to help the next guy up. What's your take on that?
Definitely giving back is very important, and I'm glad you touched on that, because when I opened up the first original hot dog factory, I opened it up in March of 2020, which was right in the middle of COVID. And I already understood that I wasn't going to make any, the opportunity wasn't going to be there the way that I thought it was, because everything was shut down. So what I did was I gave back the first 4 months of opening to Ronald McDonald House. We donated to the first responders for like 2 months. Also the Boys and Girls Club. So giving back is definitely, it makes sense when you're an entrepreneur, because everybody needs somebody. So giving back is very important. And I would encourage entrepreneurs and just people in general to always look forward to giving back if they able to. Now,
what do you need more of? How can we help you right now?
I mean, it's more employees. That's what I need help with right now. More employees. It's hard to find good staffing at this point for me.
Yeah, that's a challenge for everybody nowadays. Well, I'm hearing that around the country, that finding folks out there that want to work is a challenge nowadays.
It is. And I mean, I've gotten creative and started offering incentives and certain things like that I didn't think I would have to do. but it's definitely challenging to find employees or staff right now.
So if somebody wants to learn more about what you're up to, or maybe find one of those restaurants that you got, what's the best website to go to find all you're into?
Sure. Axxeum, which is AXXEUM, Corp, CORP as in Paul.com.
Well, Aaron, thank you so much for sharing your story today. You're doing such important work, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We will see you all next time on High Velocity Radio.